Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on in to the PSP Podcast, featuring your friendly host, Percussive 173. Let's freaking go! I downed him! Oh, I got it! 508 meters! I'm pushing everything right now. Against the Lockman. Dude, this Lockman is so good! Oh my god, I'm disgusting! So what do you think about that play, huh? What were your thoughts?
Not very smart, man. Not very smart, man.
It happens, man. Hey, well, come back. We'll try it again, okay?
Very smart, man.
It happens. Shit. I guess I'm just gonna shit on him. He's dead. Did I just ace? I just ace. Let's go.
Just take a funky jazz with him.
Easy triple. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to have you be a part of the PSP Podcast. And I'm your friendly host, Percussive 173, and let's have a freaking party. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on in. My name is Percussive 173, and we are back with another episode of the PSP Podcast. And for those of you guys that don't know, PSP stands for Perk Spreads Positivity, because we like to spread positivity in any way that we know how. And tonight we are doing that through educating aspiring creators, wannabe creators, to deep dive into the deep dive with us, with creators that are shaping the future of content. And today we are entering an entirely new dimension, and I mean the virtual kind. Joining me is a sparkling gem of the VTuber world, the talented, charming AmethystMay, known for her cozy vibes, killer creativity, and just an all-around decent mind, and really could not be more excited to have AmethystMay join us. Hey, AmethystMay, join us. Why don't you say hello, and Amethyst, welcome on into the PSP Podcast. How we doing tonight?
Hi, I'm doing good. I'm really excited to chat with you about VTubing tonight.
Oh, I'm very excited. VTubing is something that I actually know nothing about. So it's going to be really cool to actually have a really awesome conversation with the VTuber. And hopefully we can maybe enlighten some people on the little tips and tricks behind the scenes, and maybe they can get started on their VTuber model themselves.
I love it. Because there's a lot of gatekeeping in the community, and I'm not about that. This is totally accessible, and I would love to see more people dabble in VTubing just a little bit.
VTubing is honestly, it's really cool, to be able to have an avatar and still to be able to be in front of camera. And a lot of people think that the avatar is just a video on its own. Do you want to talk a little bit? Well, you know what? We'll get there. Let's actually learn a little bit about you. So why don't you tell us a bit about yourself, and who is HeyAmethystMay, and where did that name come from?
Ooh, that's a big question. Okay. Well, I am a VTuber, obviously. I've been a VTuber for about 3 years. I am this year's Game Hers Rising Star Award recipient.
W.
And yeah, I know, it's really exciting because for a little while there, really VTubers weren't put in that streamer niche. We were kind of separate and kept away from that. And to see the Gamehurst pick so many VTubers this year, I'm like, yes, they're recognizing us finally. So it was really exciting for me. The name, okay. So when I used to be an IRL streamer, and May was part of my IRL stream name, and then Amethyst actually comes from my old Xbox 360 days. That was my user. It was part of my username back then, and I was like, let's just put them together.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. And so what made you decide to make the jump from cam streaming and to VTubing?
Okay. So I have a two-parter story on that one.
Sure.
I'm a mom. I got 5 kids. So I'm busy on the back end, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I have older kids who are starting to consume content online too. And my oldest son started to get teased because people found my vlog channel and they were like, "Your mom's a YouTuber." And that was like the first instance for me where I was like, I gotta find a different way to do this because I don't want to be embarrassing for them. And then on the other side, like really soon after, I was diagnosed with an autoimmune disorder and I lost a lot of my own personal self-confidence during that time. And I just didn't have the thick skin because it comes out in my skin, right? So I didn't have enough of a thick skin to go live on Twitter or Twitch and show everybody it and have somebody be like, "Ew, what's wrong with you?" Right? And so it's like, this is a way for me to do something I still really love and come to terms with like this new person that I am too. And now 3 years later, I'm comfortable with myself. I'm back to being me, but it gave me a way to not give up on streaming and what I was loving to do, and not have people pick on me and my kids, at the same time.
Yeah, and you get that like added protection with like for yourself as well being in behind like a VTuber well
Yeah.
persona. And what's really interesting, I that one thing I do know about VTubing is a lot of people just assume that the VTuber model is just video. Or sorry, not just video, that
No.
it is a video and like everything's pre-recorded. So
Yeah.
you want to talk a little bit about that? Like, what? How do you even get a model?
Oh man, there's so much. So there's
Hmm.
several kinds. There's a PNG tuber, there's a GIF tuber, there's live 2D tubers, which are 2D, which I'm a 2D, and then there's 3D VTubers.
I was actually taught like considering like swapping to VTubing model myself. So if I was going to do so, what software should I look into?
Okay, so I would say as a beginner, start with a PNG tuber, and
Okay.
I would use Honk. That's my favorite. I know a lot of people talk about VitoTube, but Honk has more options in it and for mouth movements. And what Honk does is you draw one image and then you just draw like 10 different mouth shapes. And it identifies as you talk what sound shape you're making and changes the mouth to that shape. So it
Oh,
looks like you're
cool.
talking. Yeah. The if you were to do a full live 2D, you have to pay for live 2D cubism for rigging, and that's really expensive. It's almost better to just pay for a rigger because the cost of the program is so high.
That's really interesting. So, like, what do you mean by like rigging? Like, what? So, can you talk a little bit about that process?
Yeah. So what you do, the rigging is it's kind of like a dot of or a map of dots all over the body of the artwork. And depending on what you do, it's what moves the artwork, right? So I'm not 3D. I can only look so far and then it kind of starts to get a little bit wonky, right? So and that's the way it is, it's like oh, I guess this is hard to say, but it's like the map pulls the artwork in certain directions to make it look as 3D as possible.
So it's like video game styling, like when the
Yeah.
people go in like to like the video booth in like NBA 2K, right?
Yeah, it's like it's how they animate anything. It's
Oh,
rigging
that's
is
awesome.
is the same system for animation.
Gotcha. That's really interesting. I never really thought that that would even be a possibility. Um,
I've seen I wanna say Chef, he might be one who does rig his cartoons through Live 2D. I've seen some people who do online cartoons and comics who actually use the VTuber system to move their animations. I'm like, "That's wild. That's really cool."
that's awesome. That's something that honestly, like, I wouldn't expect when it comes to VTubing. So, like, as a streamer, like, we know that like the content is like key. Content is what's going to help us grow. Like, the more that we post, like, more consistent that we post, the more things go out. So, when you record, do you record in a different facet, or do you still record via like OBS or via like Twitch or via the stream output?
So for recording my recorded content, I don't actually use my VTuber model because
Okay.
I've seen there's a bias to VTubing in video content, and so actually faceless stuff does better on video content. But for like
Really?
streaming, yeah, I
Okay.
think there's almost a stigma that it's just the waifu simp content and not regular stream content.
That's valid.
Um, yeah, so on YouTube, I usually don't. But if I'm live streaming, yeah, I'm using Meld. And then I have a program called VTube Studio, and that's what runs the animation. And so it's just another like layer in my scenes in OBS.
So you actually add it as like a kind of like a browser source style of layer.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
We use something called Spout too, but you can also just do like a window capture.
Okay, cool. So you can either capture that or you can add Spout 2 to your OBS or Melt. That's really interesting. There's so much different software when it comes to VTubing, and things are just so like different. If somebody
Yeah.
was wanting to make the jump from cam content to VTubing, what's your first suggestion to them?
Ooh. Um, I think they should do it. I think even if so, we're friends with Sincerely Aurora, and she just picked up a VTuber model as just kind of a fallback for bad days. She's not giving up IRL cam streaming, but she wants something for days where she doesn't want to get dressed. And I'm like, girl, I got you. That makes so much sense. Like, so if you want to, I definitely think you should look into it. Like, I personally think you're welcome in this environment. Like, do you? That's really cool. Um, Jumping off point, I think it's easiest to buy a customizable model. There are some Etsy is a little shady right now. There's a lot of like AI ones, but there are some that have been around for years that are under $20 and still a really good way for you to like get a feel for it if this is what you want to do, and then maybe in like 6 months do a really big debut with something more customized to you.
That's actually a really interesting idea. And you're right, from a security perspective and from like a safety perspective, Etsy is kind of a little bit dangerous with a lot of things right now.
Yeah.
As much as like Etsy is incredible and like Fiverr is incredible, there are a lot of people out there from a content perspective that are wanting to like take things in like wanting to do malicious styles of activity. But so on average, how long did it take you to build your model? And do you think people underestimate building models?
Absolutely. I Mine was not bad because it's
Okay.
customizable. I think it maybe took me like a half an hour. It wasn't too bad. And I've got like a lot of really cool options because of it being customizable. Like, I can change hair color,
Ooh.
I can change outfits. I don't have any programs right now, but, like, for Halloween and stuff, I'll change my outfits. I can actually change my hair because it's customizable, and a lot of VTuber models, you can't do that on. So, customizable ones actually give you a lot of freedom to make changes, especially in the beginning when you're not really sure on your persona.
There's actually some VTubers that I see that will literally in the middle of things like based on their like emotional reaction to certain things change like their style. Like I forget who the name was, but I've seen someone go from like, like normal happy like vibrant and like super light colored VTuber model, and then like someone will say something stupid in chat and then they'll turn like all red and like
Yeah.
angry and like devilish, and it's like really cool to see those like customizable changing transitions like that.
So if you don't have a customizable model, like, so I've got the angry, like, what the heck did you say to me? I can't believe you said that on my chat, get out, right?
Hmm.
Um, but in a with a customizable one, all of that stuff is built in. It's just stuff I have to take time to put in and make it work. If you buy a custom one, you usually have to pay anywhere from 100 to $200 for every single additional emotion, because you have to pay for the art and you have to pay for the additional rigging on each set. So like when you see somebody who has a custom model and has done that, like they have put a lot of money and or time and effort to learn how to do it themselves. And so those are really cool in my opinion because I'm like, I know what went into that model. That's so awesome.
It's honestly it's really cool to see. One of the VTubers that I used to watch a lot was, well, Ghost Kitty. I see like a lot of the things that she does when it comes to like her VTuber model versus like her content. Like when she does like video content, like shorts, she'll put like what is it called? It's like little emotes of her
Yeah.
VTuber model.
Or
Like,
like chibi.
yeah, like chibis.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, I
I
like Kitty. She's a really good example of somebody who went from IRL to VTubing.
I don't think I've actually seen Kitty's IRL content. I think I've only seen her as a VTuber, which I think is really cool.
Oh yeah, she left IRL about a year and a half ago. So I had
Hmm.
seen her prior to that, but during the transition. So and it was really cool because at the same time I was coming out of being exclusively VTuber and moving into mixed VTuber and IRL cam again. And so we were like kind of crossing paths as we made it our transitions. It was really cool.
It's awesome. Like another person that I used to watch a lot was well, Iron Mouse. And
Oh
like
yeah. Yep.
her model's incredible. Like the stuff that she does on
Yeah.
her stuff, it's like really cool to watch. So like
She
we bring up
a
other
lot.
streamers. Oh, she does a lot. But so we bring up other VTuber models and people in VTubing. Do you think it's essential for newer creators that maybe want to become VTubers who are aspiring to be VTubers, like seek out those other people as like maybe like an insight of some things that they want to do?
That's a tough question. So there's two worlds in the VTubing community. There are the very strict VTubers who have a feeling that things should be exactly a certain way, and if you don't do this way, you're not a true VTuber. But then there's a really good side of the VTubing community that show up for you in like the coolest ways ever. That like, yes, you might want to make friends in the community, but will it actually hurt you not to? No. So I think honestly for me, some of my best like acquaintances in the industry aren't VTubers. So I think it's just best to make connections wherever you can and maybe don't just niche yourself down to VTubers as potential collab partners or people you just chat with on a regular basis.
Gotcha, gotcha. Sorry, 1 second. I'm gonna ask another question because I don't know if you're coming through.
Uh-oh.
No, you are, but why is it not showing up on OBS? You gotta love tech issues in the streaming world.
Always. And it always works fine until you have to do something with someone.
Well, and like and we actually talked about this like last night, which is I think is really cool. It's like you see me spending like and I'm gonna switch scenes kind of back here, but you see me spending like almost an hour and a half, but prior to like the stream, like sitting and going over audio technical issues, and I can only assume as like a VTuber, those things are like doubled or tripled. So from an audio input perspective, please let me know if please let me know like from like a viewer perspective if any audio issues end up happening throughout the stream or if you can't hear my lovely guest over here, but like it's we deal with tech issues on the regular, and I can only assume that in VTubing those tech issues are multiplied. Have you seen that stuff happen before?
They really are. I have to open certain programs in certain orders. I'm like constantly recalibrating because it doesn't quite figure out where my face is and it thinks I'm looking way over here when I'm not. Or there's been like whole streams where my mouth just didn't open. I'm like, what's happening? I can't clip any of that. It looks like I was silent. Yeah.
It's crazy to see some of like the audio stuff or like the technical issues. Like have you ever encountered anything like where you switch like to a specific thing on your VTuber persona and then it just freezes or gets caught and just doesn't move
That
back?
That hasn't been an issue. One thing I do have to watch though is my outfit and hair is like coated on a hotkey, and if I accidentally hit that hotkey, I'm just a naked bald model. Like
Oh
not fully
no.
naked. There's a bra, but it's like, oh shoot, that doesn't look great.
It's like we forgot the clothing today.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find my clothes out the closet.
So when you have a custom model, usually you can't go fully nude, but I can go pretty close to nude, and I'm like, oh, don't touch that.
I've actually seen like some people really like to kind of play on that card. Like I've seen I think what's her name? Cottontail, I think,
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
play on that. So it's like a lot of people actually have this like weird like how do I describe it with like being respectful? They have this affinity towards specific VTuber models and specific VTubers for some reason. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, that
So
some of them can definitely gather a kind of a waifu crowd.
no, like the Uwu Senpai,
Yeah.
the Uwu Senpai crowd.
Yes, exactly.
So how do you come up with content ideas for your streams? And like what's something that you like to do as a VTuber that may different than an IR or like an IRL cam streamer?
I don't specifically cater my content just to VTubing audiences. I cater more towards the game I'm playing.
Okay.
So for me, I usually plan out which game we're playing and I let everyone know. Something that is really prevalent in the VTubing community that I don't see streamers doing is putting out like a schedule graphic every week. I don't know why that's something we don't all do, but it's a very big thing in VTubing to like have a schedule graphic every week. And so I usually do plan what we're gonna do. I don't ever wing it. I'd say the only times that my model comes into like really big play is our Valentine's stream.
Okay.
Um, because we rate monsters and whether we'd like to do them.
Oh, so
And
the party
so
times.
yeah, so then there are times of like we'll spend most of the stream all heart eyes and talking about it. Otherwise, like I don't specifically plan around the model. I'm just playing a game like everybody else.
And I've seen like so many different styles of like VTubing. I've seen so many different styles of like content creation. And like ultimately like there's so many different facets of content where like what people can do to be able to like grow and be successful. And I know like people are already timid when it comes to going into the field of content or going into the streaming world. Like what is your suggestion not just to VTubers but to anyone who wants to go into content?
Oh, I think you have to just be authentically you. The more you're trying to, oh, I'm gonna play this game because this game does well, or I'm gonna do this thing because Kai Cenat does this. I'm gonna do that thing because my neighbor down the street is doing that and it's doing well. That's never gonna get you anywhere. You've got to think, okay, these are the games I really enjoy, and then like, how do you make the things you enjoy entertaining for other people? Without losing who you are in the process.
Definitely. And like and I feel like the majority of people that go into content, they just want instant gratification. Like some people will be like, "Oh, this isn't working. I'm going to switch to VTubing because this is going to instantly make me famous." Like I guess let's talk a little bit about what's wrong with the instant gratification mentality in content. Because I
Ooh.
feel like there are so many people that just have um the wrong mindset going into streaming. What's the right mindset that we should have?
I think you have to know that you're going in for a lot of work. There isn't an instant gratification. I know it looks like on the VTubing side, it really looks like it just like blows up all of a sudden, and all of a sudden there's this new character and she's doing really well. There was one last night, Saba, who just blew up, but what people don't talk about is that is actually she's an indie creator now, but she was a corpo creator previously, and that she already has all of the connections in the industry. She already has a little bit of money behind it all to fund it. So you see someone go to like 100,000 subscribers overnight, and you're like, holy crap, I can do that. And realistically, they have been in the industry for years and years and years, and they're just evolving into something new. And so it's your turn to start your maybe years and years and years of process, but you could also reach that eventually too. It's just it does look like a lot of instant gratification, but it is really not.
And we see that like in like just regular like cam content and like other content as well. It's just it's really strange that like people have this mentality going into content creation that they can just post content, hit the live button, and be famous. Like you gotta have a personality. Like
Yes,
if you
yes.
if you sit there and you're just like, guys, I'm playing Call of Duty. Oh my god, I sniped them. I did well. Um, no one's gonna want to watch you.
No, and it's even harder in VTubing because we call it puppeting. You
Hmm.
have to puppet. You have to I can't just sit here and just talk to you without really opening my mouth. It doesn't look like I'm doing anything. You have to be loud and make facial expressions and stuff like that so that your model actually moves. So yeah, you really have to participate a lot more with VTubing.
And that goes from like just a camera perspective too. It's like
Yes.
the camera has to recognize your facial expressions to be able to make your model like change certain aspects of what it's doing.
Yes.
So like
Yeah.
and I think in the acting world we call it overextending. We call it overacting, and I feel like that's a big part of like VTubing.
Yeah, I would agree. And then it also it depends on your model rigging quality too. Like, as much as I would love to be able to puff out my cheeks, this model just can't puff out her cheeks, you know? And I can raise one eyebrow, but my model's not rigged to raise one eyebrow. So, yeah, there's a lot of differences, I guess, and you have to learn your model and what your limits are with your model too. And you have to spend a lot of time like tweaking it and making sure like, for me, I had to make sure it could see past my real glasses and get my eye movements when I get really wide-eyed and stuff like that.
And I feel like down the tech line, um there should be someone, and me being a tech nerd, and I love kind of talking and like thinking about this type of stuff. There should be a way for us to be able to use hand signaling, or not just hand signaling, but like be able like all of a sudden I want to change to like me being super angry, and I just am like no, and like because a lot of us are more expressive with our hands than we are like
Right.
with our facial expressions. I feel like if we have like those movements, or if we have something to like signal, I feel like that's such a
There
big thing.
there might be. So I don't have a 3D model, and a lot of the 3D models use like VR headsets, but you can also go
Hmm.
as far as like full rigs that your whole body wears. I can't remember her name, but there's a really good example of her. If I remember, I'll let you know.
Okay.
Um, But so I know she can do stuff, but she has a full body suit. So she can like hold up an L finger and it'll like do something to her model because that shape is up. But I'm not really sure how much that's accessible to everybody or even people with just a live 2D model. I think that's mostly a 3D model kind of thing.
Oh yeah, I can definitely see that for 3D modeling, because like when you have I wish I could find examples like from an image perspective to show people like what you mean by like the 2D model, you being a 2D model versus like a 3D modeled avatar. I don't know if like we should be calling them avatars or models. I don't know what's technically
Models is
correct.
better.
Models is better. Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha. So, but like there's so much that people don't even know in when it comes to these types of things. So, what do you think the most gate kept secret of VTubing is?
I don't know. Um, gate kept secret. I think, ooh, this it might get a little controversial. I think a lot of people see groups and think the only way you're ever gonna get big is if you're in a group because it is helpful to have like other people to connect with and do content with. But in the long run, those people are not gonna add you to their group. So, it's you're gonna have to find your own people, and that's where a lot of people are like, "Oh, they're just so stuck up, they won't ever let us in," and instead, you really have to look at it from their perspective. They have worked really, really hard to get somewhere, and they have a really large audience, and they have to protect their audience. They don't know you, they don't know what you might say in front of their audience, and instead of opening up the doors to bring in somebody, who might potentially get them in trouble. You know, if you drop one slur, it would be devastating for them and their channel, right? Instead, they're going to stick with this group of people they know are going to also take care of their audience. And so I think we get a lot of pushback, like we're gatekeeping when we won't play or collab with people, and really it's not. It's just we got to protect our people.
I can definitely like agree with that, and like it goes like to beyond just the VTubing space. It goes to like IRL content in general, and or just content in general. Like a lot of people like they go into the streaming space and they're like, all right, I gotta join this streaming team. I gotta follow everybody who follows me out of respect for the people that are choosing to follow me, and like that. I feel like people that do that are kind of missing the point. And like
Y-
the stream team will help to an extent, and like people like your good friends will help you like with ideas of like content, like you can go to them, but like if they're not going to do your content for you, like it's cool
Right.
to ask for help on an edit, but your mind is what the viewers want to pay attention to.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. I feel like so you really shouldn't be grinding for an org. That's common like in the streamer world, or grinding for an agency. I think you got to find you and your path and do well as you before you start reaching out, cuz
Yes.
they're not gonna like help you figure out how to stream. They're not gonna help you figure out how to like finesse everything. They're gonna help you with the next steps. They're gonna help you with like brand outreach and stuff like that. And so you gotta be in a good place for that first.
You gotta be self-sufficient, and like I say this so much for like anybody and any newer creators. If you want to go into the field of content, you get 95% of the work of content is introspective. You need to be
Yes.
happy with what you are doing with yourself to be able to be passionate and put forward an amazing product. Otherwise, you're going to get people that just kind of bolt. They're just going to
Yeah,
say hi and leave.
I
So,
agree.
what is your advice, not even just to VTubers, but to newer creators that are saying, you know what, this is something that I may want to get into? How should they start?
Ooh, I think everyone should start on YouTube. I think YouTube is
Okay.
going to be your best place for launching. I do like multi-streaming. I do think it's really a great way to get yourself out there, but not everybody's computers can handle multi-streaming. So I think your focus should be YouTube and live stream it. And in the beginning, like, don't be afraid to make mistakes. Just go live, even if it's scuffed, it's okay. Like, just do it, because you can't learn from it until you've done it and made a mistake.
I definitely agree with that. I mean, like you guys saw it in the podcast earlier today when my audio doubled for whatever that reason was, and I still don't know why it's doubling. Um, it didn't yesterday. It didn't an hour and a half ago, but it did after I hit the go live button for some reason. And like there are things that you can do. Um, like honestly, like I agree with you on the YouTube aspect. I feel like people should be creating content prior to going live, because if you hit just a go live button, expect to stream to 0 viewers until you get like pushed out by the algorithm. I don't think Twitch, and I could be wrong here. I don't know if Twitch actually pushes people out to their suggested streamer page until you have a specific following amount. I don't think I've ever scrolled through like the following page or like the suggested page and seen somebody with 2 to 3 views
Yeah, and
or
I
even
think
0.
even the suggestion page, I think, is based on like who you are already following and interacting with. So, like my good friend Mad is in chat and they are a streamer as well, and they do horror content. I don't
Okay.
do horror content. So even though I'm spending a lot of time in that chat, it might not be a good recommendation for us going back and forth, because I am a scaredy cat and I play cozy games, you know? So like that's a real flaw in Twitch's structure, because just because I hang out in a certain area doesn't mean I make content in that area. And that's usually, I feel like, how the suggested works. I get a lot of Dead by Daylight and a lot of like Phasmo recommendations, and I'm like, I don't watch that. I'm just my friend is that.
and and like it's kind of like with me, like when I'm playing Call of Duty and then they suggest me a Dead by Daylight streamer. I'm gonna be really honest. Like if I see a DBD streamer, no offense to Dead by Daylight, I'm gonna swipe away, because like I like
Yeah.
FPS games and I like watching people in FPS games and like watching people who are good at that. But like recently, they've been recommending me like NBA 2K streamers, because all I do is talk about 2K. which I think is really funny. So,
Yeah, that is.
if you had to do it all over again, um, would you change the style of content that you started with, or what would you do if you everything reset to zero?
Uh, I would. I actually started in Sims, and
Oh,
I
cool.
spent an ungodly amount of time in The Sims, and I wish I had made the leap into like Minecraft and other things sooner because I really got kind of jaded with always having a broken game. And it sucks when your content is constantly you griping about the thing you're playing, and then eventually people
Mhm.
stop watching you because you're being negative about the game you're playing. And so I wish I had played things I love first, instead of being I saw how well the Sims content was doing. It was right around the time of COVID, and I saw a girl blow up on YouTube and then make a channel on Twitch, and I was like, I can do that. I play The Sims. And I wish instead I had said, "Hey, I really love this one game. I'm gonna try it there."
Do you ever repurpose your content, like for streams? Like if you had to go back and like reissue some of your YouTube videos, what's your process there?
I do. I all of my short form content comes from streams. I don't use it for videos. So my videos are 100 days or 100% completion. And there's like 30 to 50 hours of recording in that, and I don't want to be live for that. I don't think anybody wants to watch that live. But for short form content, I try to make sure I have the time to edit the stream afterwards. So if I only have 6 hours to work that day, I only stream for 3 hours so that I can also watch back the stream afterwards and clip it. And then, yeah, I clip it and I put out a short every single day with my clips from stream.
And I've been actually doing that until one of my friends actually suggested Frosty Tools to me, where it'll give you like little highlights of your VOD and like timestamps within your VOD that you can be like, oh, this was great. I can go back and I can take this based off of my recording within my like my high high volume recordings. Like so I do things a little differently for me, especially like for recording purposes. I have a two PC setup where my 4060 like Ti, like my main PC, that is used just to be able to handle Call of Duty. Anything more and my PC is just gonna burn and crash and like die. So I actually take all that and then I transfer it over to another PC via a capture card, and I send audio over via distro AV or NDI through OBS, and everything kind of reads on that streaming PC, and then it goes through an OBS there, and then it sends out to what you guys see, and I can do stuff like that, and I can also like split my content and split my audio so that it makes sense. But there's so many different things, and you mentioned like editing streams. I've actually tried editing streams a lot. I've actually gone live. I've pulled open DaVinci Resolve. I've pulled open CapCut. I've thrown stuff there, and like people pay attention for the first 5 minutes until they realize that you're not actually playing the game, and then they leave. Because you're so right. Like editing streams, like they just don't work.
So I feel like it depends. So I do have a community of people who likes doing running Pomodoro sessions.
Okay.
And am I allowed to
Yeah.
cuss a little bit on
Yeah.
here?
You can
Okay.
cuss. You can cuss. It's.
We call it get your shit together.
Mhm.
And so we'll do it like once every 3 months or so. We'll spend like a week where we're getting our shit together. We've been playing video games too long. We need to get some work done, 2 hours a day. And we'll do like a half an hour of workflow and then 10 minutes of chatting. And so when I specifically say, "Hey, we're going to do our get your shit together," I have people who come in just for that. But yeah, I don't think it would make for good interaction and content to do that on a regular. It's kind of like a special week. Like Halloween is a special week for us. It's specialty streams, and you got to sometimes we just finished one called Amazing Minutes, and it was a whole month of having the community be creative, and those kinds of things you have to incentivize them. right? And so Zenny got with me and said that they would provide the prize. I actually need to get the prize to the person. But like, so there's things like you can incentivize it and you can still make it content, but none of that is really clippable. And none of that really makes good for like video on demand style content either. So you just got to know that you've got to put in whatever work during that week that will move you forward, because the footage from the stream is not really going to move you forward.
Definitely agree. So I want to switch gears a little bit. I've actually one of my friends messaged me this question, and I thought it was one of the coolest questions ever. As a VTuber, how do you handle going to IRL events like conventions?
Oh, I love it. Okay. I
Hmm.
know a lot of people don't, but I decided in 2023, I went to DreamHack as just an attendee. Like, I'm not going to go as a creator. I just want to see it. I don't want the attention. I want to see what it's like. And I was really excited. Um, and the vibe was really good, and I did kinda, "Hey, I'm so and so," here and there, but I didn't want to be like, "Here's my creator badge, I'm a VTuber," right? So, I did kinda meet with a couple of people, especially from Kick. I love Kick, and just so everyone knows, Kick is where I would love to be my home. But, so I went and I realized there's not a lot of VTuber interaction, because I feel like we've kind of been othered, and I don't think it's intentional. I think it's people don't know how to collab with us or connect with us and bring us to the stage. And so I think a few years ago, DreamHack actually had Iron Mouse on one of the stages. And then the year I went, there was like zero VTuber interaction at all. And then in 2024, I got connected with Bear and I'm like, look, we need to make this happen. How do we get more VTubers here? I've seen VTuber conventions, and I know how it can be done, but I'm like, we gotta do this. And they actually approved me for VTuber meetup in 2024. And that was really exciting. And I just put it out like, I know we're all maybe hiding. So you can attend as a fan. You can attend as a VTuber. You don't have to say which VTuber you are. You don't have to say anything. You can just be in the room if that's what you want to do. And I actually found it was really cool because some people came with masks and didn't show their faces. Some people came, just said, I'm a VTuber, but I'm not going to tell you who. And then it's pretty traditional when you hang out with VTubers. We all like put our VTuber model on our phone and we take a picture of all of our phones together, like, hey, we got to meet up, right? And so at the end, the ones that were comfortable were willing to like put their phones out and we did our little group photo. So there's that. You can attend in person. You can attend with a mask. Some people cosplay as themselves, which is cool. And then I've seen, so like Iron Mouse, she can't attend. She physically does not leave her house often. Um, can't attend. It's like her autoimmune disorder doesn't allow for her to go into such a big event. So
Hmm.
she actually gets to attend like on like an iPad on wheels with a handler, and she just gets to scoot around conventions and people can come up and talk to her that way. And
Oh,
actually
that's
at
really
DreamHack,
cool.
right? I'm like, at DreamHack Dallas, they actually had something similar like that for one of the VTubers that was headlining at Dallas this year. I'm like, that's amazing. That's so cool. So DreamHack has been really awesome about starting to like open up for more of us. Like we're in conventions like Offkai, that's an anime convention, and MomoCon, it's an anime convention, but like I'm not seeing so many of us at like streamer conventions. So to see DreamHack, a gaming convention, be like, we're opening the doors for more VTubers. I'm like, finally, this is amazing.
I think it's really cool to see how people can do things, and like as a tech nerd, I always like to think of this type of stuff. Like I actually would love to see um like two different creator booths at conventions. I'd like to see like your IRL creator booth and then have um like the VTuber section where it's closed off. Like you can see the setup, you can see them there, but they have like a TV or a monitor in front of that section so you can still interact. They can still hear you in person, but they can actually see your avatar directly in front of you. And I feel like I call it like a reverse booth I,
Yeah, it'd
I,
be really
yeah,
cool to see. I
I would
think
love to see that.
the only thing I've seen where there's been backlash for that, I can't remember which convention it was, but somebody went through the curtain because he was a stalker who was really into this person. So it almost needs to be a whole different room with a door out that doesn't go
Right.
onto the main floor. That's like the only way I can find for it to work. And then I've seen at other conventions when they know that you're the streamer and like they see you masked, they don't know who you are, but they followed them back to their hotel rooms. So
Oh,
I'm
that's
like,
I've seen that.
yeah, I'm like, there is a little bit like, if you're really genuinely wanting to try to keep your face hidden, it's probably best to do the iPad versions. But I've decided I'm willing to like not hide my face as much in the hopes that we can start bringing in the people who have to hide their face.
Right. And like there's really cool options from a technological perspective that like you can set up. Like I know like people were you're saying the iPad thing. There's also this thing called like a Lumo bot where it's like a Segway but with a monitor on the top that can actually weave its way in and out of the crowds via like
That's
remote control
probably
and via
it.
AI. Yeah, it's really cool to see stuff like that. So, speaking of tech, um what is one tool or resource that has made streaming easier for you? Oh yeah, they did have VTuber meetups at DreamHack Dallas. It was so awesome. But yeah, so what is one tool or resource that made streaming easier for you?
Currently, I'm kind of a meld simp. Uh,
Uwu
and meld is
Meld.
actually I know exactly. I might ooh for them, you know?
Hey, I
Uh,
feel you there.
because I have to have so many programs open, I don't know if I just had a bad plugin or what, but OBS kept dropping my connection on Twitch quite a bit, and it was only Twitch. I'm multi-streaming to all these other places, and Twitch just kept dropping. And then all of a sudden, I would get really bad model lag and stuff like that. And so I actually met the Meld people at DreamHack Atlanta last year, and I was like, why not? I'm gonna give it a shot. And I love it. Like, I don't have model lag anymore. We did an entire Next Fest of playing demos, and I think there was only one game that actually caused lag. I don't drop connection anymore. So for me, like, Melt is making it a lot easier for me to like stay live.
I've honestly, I love Meld and like what I've seen from Meld, it's such an incredible like computerized space software. Like it's something that's made by streamers for streamers, and like they're making massive waves throughout the streaming industry. I know they have um a pairing with some of the VTuber models and stuff like that, and like it's really cool to watch and see. Like it definitely will lighten the load like on the PC rather than OBS. The only reason why I personally use OBS is because there are a couple features that Meld doesn't have that I know they're working on, and eventually they will get there, and it's going to be really cool. Um, so as streamers as a whole, with us being streamers and us being content creators, a lot of us have um weird mindsets and weird mentalities. What is your mindset to a newer creator that constantly compares themselves to a larger creator? What's your
Ooh,
advice to them?
baby, don't. That's a don't. It's
Hmm.
like, okay, if they're really big because they innovated and they did a lot of cool stuff and, you know, they've paved their way. And it's going to be really hard for you to copy and do it exactly the same way. And I make 100 days content, right? So I I'm kind of in a niche of this is a certain pathway you can make your content, but you still have to make it your own. So if you see someone doing something that you really like and it's really successful, study it and make it your own because that's going to be what sets you apart. If you're just like another XQC copycat, they're literally just going to call you that. So see what he's doing and like, oh, how does he engage his chat? What makes people keep coming back and figure out how you can do it yourself.
And I see that a lot. And like honestly, like my advice to people who compare themselves to larger streamers is 100% don't, because as you said, and I want to highlight what you said, if like if you take the pieces and parts of those people who inspire you and then build it into your own persona, your own mentality, your own model, um, you're gonna grow so much better. And it's like all about genuine and like being authentic and being like true to yourself. And like people forget
Yes.
that. Like it's crazy.
I feel like, especially in the last 3 months or so, I feel like we've gotten to a point where we're tired of, like, the quick swipe and the brain rot content, and
Ooh,
you're starting to Yeah, right? And, like, I think we're starting to see people are really wanting, like, connection, and they really wanna know your story, and they really wanna get to know you, and so
yes.
the more you're being authentic and honestly, the, like, hour-long videos are doing really well because people want something a little more substantial and in their relationship with their streamer. I know that sounds parasocial, but realistically, every viewer has some kind of a relationship with you, and they
Yes.
want to know you.
I couldn't agree more. Like it's a parasocial part. Like people give okay, so people give a negative mentality when it comes to like parasocial relationships, and they only focus on the negative aspects of parasocial relationships. But weirdly enough, parasocial relationships define the streaming world in a nutshell. So there's parasocial relationships aren't inherently bad, but there are a lot of negatives that come with it, and there's a lot of toxic things, and that can actually go to all aspects of life.
Yeah.
And-
What's funny is in VTubing, we actually have a phrase that, like, at its core is a parasocial relationship, and people don't wanna acknowledge that. So, you call your idol, the person that you would, like, do anything to meet or collab with or whatever, you call them your Oshi, and you only get 1 Oshi, and so usually, like, super fans will use whatever emojis that VTuber uses as, like, their Oshi mark on Twitter or on Blue Sky and stuff like that, so, like,
Mhm.
we even kind of train up people to be parasocial by being like, "Who's your Oshi?" You know?
That's an awesome like thought process and mentality there, because like you can't like you have to have that type of relationship with your VTuber persona too.
Mhm.
Like you have to. It's like with anything. It's like, but it goes back to the understanding yourself and understanding what you want to be as a creator. So
Yeah.
Chop actually asked a question a little bit ago. Who would be your dream collab if you had a dream collab? And I have an interesting
Oh,
response to this,
man.
but I'll let you go first.
Mine actually was at DreamHack Dallas, and I was so bummed. I nearly cried because I didn't go. Her name is Monarch or Amelie. She is a VTuber, but she's also a voice actor. And so she's one of these VTubers that is okay with showing her face because she's been in the industry. People know who she is. And her business style is what I want. Like, I want to be able to do music covers and voice acting and play games with my friends online. And I just like her mash of being IRL and VTubing.
Now, I've never met her, so I'll definitely have to look her up. Now, whenever anyone asks me who my dream collab is, people hate my response. Is I've already had my dream collab.
Ooh.
So I've already had that. Like, it's not that like I don't like aspire to like become larger. It's that I want to continue to make content that I enjoy watching and I enjoy doing. My dream collab was actually Bad Bear Gamer. And he's a Call of Duty player. He's got super like he's super high energy, like enthusiastic, like when he was a creator and when he used to do these things. And like I try to take that high energy into my COD streams as well. I try to take that mentality of like everything is awesome even though the game is absolutely trash. So like it's my dream collab already happened. I actually had Bad Bear Gamer and The Only Shady on episode 1 of the
I was gonna
PSP
say, you
podcast.
you were on an episode, right? I listened
Yeah,
to that one.
and I got a chance to talk with them, and they're so good. Their mindset when it comes to content creation is so like incredible. It's like the world of content is so oversaturated to the point where like you have to be not only authentic to yourself, but you have to define yourself as a creator in like one of the 3 E's, and we talk about empathy, meaning that you have the ability to play to people's emotions. We talk about enthusiastic, where you have the energy that brings people wanting to come back. And then you have educational, where this podcast is meant to educate newer creators and inspire them to become creators. Like, if you could fit into one of those niches, I call them niches, but they're not really. That's something that is really interesting and is really cool, and that will actually help you stand out and help you grow. And it goes back to like the mindset question that we have of comparing yourself to other bigger creators. I don't want to compare myself to anyone. I just want to be myself, and hopefully people enjoy my content because of that.
Yeah,
But
I agree.
so, have you found your voice as a creator yet? And if not, what are you trying to do to figure that out?
Oh, okay. If you had asked me like 3 months ago, I would have been like, "Yeah, I know exactly what I wanna do and who I wanna be," because I I'm married, obviously. I got a
Hmm.
ton of kids up in this house, right? So,
W.
his family is very conservative, and I drop quite a few F-bombs. And so, for me, this was finally a chance for me to, like, be who I am, say what I wanna say unfiltered, and just, like, be wild and crazy, and, like, I have streams where I rank whether I want to screw a monster. Like, I don't think I would've right? I don't think I would have been able to do that because of my own self-confidence, and being a VTuber has given me, like, an outlet to, like, be more myself, but now that I've been a VTuber for this long, I found my voice, and I'm tired of only doing it when I'm a VTuber. And so now I'm like, "Okay, what if I start IRL vlog channel? What if I start saying the unhinged stuff out loud?" So I think I'm moving even I found myself, but maybe I'm evolving it more because I want more for myself. I don't wanna have to hide it when the camera turns off.
And but that's like all creators though. Like, we want to be able to make that step off of the camera and allow ourselves to grow even further, like every step of the way. Because it's why I keep going back to 95% of content creation and being a streamer is self reflection and self introspective. Like,
I agree, it is.
we have to watch our VODs, because if our VODs are unwatchable, who's going to watch us?
Right? If you don't if you don't go back and see that your audio wasn't on for the first 45 minutes, like, you have to look it over, and I know it sucks to go and listen to your own voice in the very beginning, but you have to figure out how to tweak things, and even as far as maybe I don't like the way my voice sounds because it's not how it sounds to me, so now I wanna make sure I tweak my microphone so it sounds like the way I think I sound too, and there's like things like that. You have to look at your content, and even you'll get done with like editing a short, and you'll watch it back and like, oh, I didn't laugh. Maybe I shouldn't post that one, right? So like you have to evaluate everything every step of the way. Don't over evaluate. Like don't give yourself anxiety. Still like submit and go live and upload, but you do need to evaluate it.
And one of the things that like I do in my VODs, like when it comes to evaluation, you'll see me a lot of the times when I'm streaming. I'll do hand signals, right? Point means mark that.
Oh, that's so smart.
Yeah. So point means mark that. So when I watch, because I watch all my VODs all the way through, I actually watch them multiple times. It's why people are like, well, why aren't you posting content? And I'm like, well, it's because I want to see what is going on. So I have this, meaning mark that. I have this, meaning check that. And like I have little hand signals for myself that only
Yeah.
I know. So I can actually go back, watch the VODs, and be like, yo, that's crazy. Like before I went to fix my audio, you saw me go like this before I went over to my PC to figure out what was going on. So it's really
That's
cool to like
very
have
cool.
those types of things, like from a visual things. And also, yeah, feel free to type your messages and questions in chat. Like I will definitely ask them. Like be more than willing to type them. We do read, we just may not respond to them right away. Also, hi Serena, you're amazing and I love you. Um, but going back to the mindset of being a content creator, what type of community are you trying to build?
Oh, that's another tough one. Okay, and
Hmm.
the weirdest thing has happened because 3 months ago, my audience was 80% female, and they lived mostly in European countries. That was my demographics. And today, my audience is 80% male from the United States. And I don't know how I made such a drastic change in 3 months. But I never really, my goal audience was honestly just millennials. I wanted to kind of connect with people in the same age range with me, and I really didn't care about like where you lived and what your gender was. And now I'm like, how in the world did I make such a change? My content didn't change, my game didn't change. But I'm like, I guess it's fine as long as you guys are all within the same age range that I was hoping to hit.
That's really cool because like I honestly like when I build my content, like going for the millennial crowd is such like an important thing because like we're born in the 90s, well, a lot of us are. And like we have that millennial mentality. Like if you don't know what the orange tape is, get the hell out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
But
Well,
like
and I feel like I connect more with millennials too because I like
true.
to play the games that we played. Like I want to play Spyro. I want to play Kingdom
Yeah.
Hearts, and I don't really want to play Fortnite, And so like that's my audience, right? Because the games that I like to play is that audience's childhood.
And that's why like a lot of us millennials were so in love with Mario Kart and Smash and like the
Yes.
games that made like Nintendo get the Switch too.
And
It's crazy.
Animal
It's awesome.
Crossing.
And Animal
Yeah.
Crossing, yeah, W. So Chop asked a question. She said at one point you said you started using your VTuber. She said so her exact question was she had said before that she started using her VTuber because of a competence issue. And at a certain point, you said something about you not using your VTuber model anymore. What changed your mind and what made you go back to using your VTuber model? And what was going through your mindset there?
I don't think I've said that I wasn't going to use my VTuber model. I don't use it all the time. The way I've differentiated my content is if I'm doing IRL stuff, I don't use the VTuber model. Like we painted my office live on stream.
W.
And then like if we play, not play, yeah, if we play games, I'm usually VTuber because that's the content that I put out on like short form, and it's just what people expect. So I rarely will play a game without my VTuber model. There's a couple of instances depending on the collab, I might
Hmm.
use a face cam, but in general, that's my line is if it's IRL, I'll have my face because it's harder to cover my face if I'm painting an office. But if I'm gaming, then I'm in the VTuber model.
And that's
And it
completely valid. It's like when I do
Yeah.
COD from time to time, I have a no camera screen where I will literally just have the call. I do it mainly for recording, especially like for thumbnails. Like I'll take my camera off too and just only like play the game itself.
And it's mostly just for content perspective, right? Like
Right.
it's my content up until this point has always had the VTuber model, except for like some of my videos don't, but it just doesn't make sense in those videos. But for short form and streaming, I've always had a VTuber model, at least for the last 3 years. So it's a content choice. And all of the IRL stuff that I do doesn't go up on the gaming YouTube channel. So like you're very rarely gonna see my face. It's funny. Somebody actually called me out on Twitter like 2 weeks ago, like, "Oh, you're just trying to hide your face. What are you? What's wrong with you?" And then they posted all these pictures of me and I'm like, "Bravo, because all of those links are in my link tree, honey. Like, I'm not that hidden. It's okay."
So
Yeah.
speaking of that route, a lot of the I feel like VTubers deal with adversity a lot more than camera streamers do because like we as a camera streamer, we can make that face. We can call people out with with our facial expressions. So what is some of the things that you might hear as a VTuber model and how is your reaction to those I don't know what to say, like those adverse comments. How do you handle those trolls?
Okay, I'm a chew your food up and spit it out type person. So I clap back. I will clap back every time. And you like depending on the platform, I'll let it run too, right? Like so on Kick
Mhm.
you let it run because But no, I think I think we get more because people, like you said in the beginning, think there's not a person behind the avatar, the model, right? They
Right.
think we're some kind of fake AI thing going on. And literally, I can only think of one AI VTuber, and it's really clear that they're an AI VTuber. It's Neurosama. They have a programmer that has programmed them, and even Neurosama will clap back if you are mean to her. So,
And I
but
love that. I love seeing
I
people
know.
clap back.
I think you have to, otherwise it eats at you. I feel like the being able to like say, "No, you're being a douchebag, get out of my chat," it helps to relieve it, and so you're not letting it sit and fester.
Yes.
And at least for me, that's so I clap back at them when they're mean to me.
I also clap back at people when they're mean to me. I kind of have levels of it. Like one of the first levels that I have is like, are you trying to sell me some stupid thing off of a website? Like, because for whatever reason, Kick more than anything else, maybe because I have an integrated Siri bot in, but um, Kick has been. You get these. I really like the way your channel is. I want to. If you can
Yep.
go to
At me on Discord.
derpaderp.com. Yeah, add me on
Yeah.
Discord. It's kind of like the graphic designers on Twitter. It's like I made a really funny joke the other day. Well, actually, it was a year ago. It was like you're never actually lonely. If you are lonely, just ask for a graphic designer.
That's one thing I feel like a lot of new people fall into the trap on VTubing on Twitter
Hmm.
is they fall for the bots. They
Yes,
fall for the bots and they get a lot of the messages, and you'll go look at an account and you're like, this one has 4,000 followers. Some of my friends are following it and it's clearly a bot. So like make sure you're kind of browsing. Have they actually posted anything of their own? Or are they only reposting everything? And the stuff that they have posted, does it look like legit art or not? Like take a few seconds before you follow somebody to see if it's real.
I wish I could show my Twitter DMs to you because there was one
Oh my
day
gosh.
when I asked for a graphic designer for something like because I'm actually trying to rebrand. Like genuinely I'm trying to rebrand. And like rebrand to do something a little bit different, going from a green and uh black logo to a black and electric blue neon cyan logo. I'm slowly starting to make those changes and do stuff like that. And so I asked for assistance from a graphic designer and my DMs exploded. I had
Yeah.
146 direct messages, requests of people saying, I'm a graphic designer. Go check out my page. So I did for the first three. And they would take me to some really ridiculous site
Oh no, you clicked
with,
the links. Don't click the
oh, I work in
links.
cybersecurity. If someone's trying to have any type of JavaScript behind any of those links, so that's going to be caught right away. Like I'm a tech nerd, so I love if someone I actually will purposely click links. I'll purposely click links on my own computer because I have the defenses to be able to stop that. For anyone else, a cybersecurity note, please make sure you hover over the link, double check, and make sure you look at what the link actually says, because if it's some hexadecimal integration on it, don't click it. Also go to
Yeah.
urlscan.io and just copy that and put it in there, and it'll tell you if it's malicious or not right off the rip. But, I mean, that's a whole different thing. But I went to some of the stuff, and, like, the people who actually had legitimate links, like, their stuff looked like it was literally put together in Microsoft Paint.
Yeah.
It happens.
From
So,
a VTuber perspective, there
mhm,
is a really good website. It's called VGen.
VGen?
It has a lot of negatives and a lot of positives, but right now, since Etsy is not the best place to be shopping, VGen is a really good one because ideally, every artist on there has been verified as a true artist. There are some that get slipped through, like, you still have to do a little bit of due diligence, but it's not as heavy as Etsy. So, if y and but a lot of them are more VTuber centric. So, if you're looking for logos and stuff, you're gonna get a very kinda splashy VTuber style logo.
So, when you're looking for that person to assist you with art, like, let's say you have somebody who isn't really graphically, um, like, knowledgeable. We'll say they're graphically challenged. Where should the graphically challenged go? I know you said VGen, but should we try Fiverr? Should we try what sites should we use?
Honestly, I like Twitter because I like to see who my friends are using. I feel like that's the best way right now. Um, I have like my Minecraft skin, I got it like rendered in a way that I can use it in thumbnails and stuff. And I found a guy through a friend and he sells on Fiverr. Otherwise, I would not buy on Fiverr because again, it's a lot of AI slop or it's bots or scammers. Fiverr is kind of just as bad as Etsy is right now. Etsy used to be really, really good. And if you find some creators that have been there for years and years, you're probably getting a good one. Like my model mama is a Zuyani on Etsy. Unfortunately, she got a unknown reason ban like 2 or 3 weeks ago. And so now she's moved to VGen, but that's where I had found her and she had been there for like 5 years. And so I'm like, okay, this creator has all of these sales and has all these 5 stars. This one is obviously somebody who's legit, right? But in the terms of finding like a new artist, the most recent piece of artwork I found, I saw somebody else's reference sheet and I was like, I love that style. I really want mine to be more of a chunkier girl. I'd like her to be a little more curvy. So if I'm gonna get a new model, I need a new reference sheet. And I saw this one and they tagged the artist. And so I went to their VGen from there. And I think that's the best way because then you already know that they were used by somebody who is willing to share it and give their information.
I forget who I saw, but I saw somebody have a VTuber model using their Snapchat avatar. I saw someone take their Snapchat avatar, literally like a screenshot of it, and like pull it down, and like they started making their Snapchat avatar their VTuber stuff. And what was really cool about this streamer, and I really wish I remembered the name, they started using Snapchat filters on their
Yes.
Snapchat model. And
So
it was
that's
one of the
actually how I
coolest
started.
things. Wait, really? From
Yeah.
Snapchat?
I started using, and I don't think it's a usable program anymore, but there was a little while like
Oh, like
Snapcam.
Bitmoji? Oh, Snapcam.
No, Snapcam.
Yes, I
And
remember that.
I think Nutty did a thing on it, and I was like, I'm gonna try this out. And so, yeah, I would stream as like an eggplant.
Dude,
But
there are
even
people
like,
who stream as potatoes too.
yes, yes. I think a lot of people don't call this one a VTuber, but to me, Annoying Orange is a
Yes.
VTuber because of the way they're set up. I'm like, that's VTubing.
Well, it's like they literally have like the AI stuff where they're taking like the lips, they're taking the eyes, they're putting it on like an actual image. You can even take like those sections and then kind of move them around. But yeah, Annoying Orange is definitely like a VTuber thing. And like honestly, like you bring up like the fruit and the vegetables type stuff. I want to get like a group of people and recreate Veggie Tales as
Oh my gosh.
VTubers.
Oh, I would totally. We are the pirates who won't do anything. I am here. I will do
Let's do it.
it.
Let's go. We'll get a VTuber. We'll get a broccoli. We'll get a cucumber. We'll get like we'll get a potato. Like it's gonna be great times. It's gonna be so much fun.
Well,
So
even you said potentially getting a VTuber model like for yourself,
uh
and but you have a little bit of an artistic side, but somebody who maybe doesn't have an artistic side, you can take a picture of yourself
huh.
and then blow it up to look like the pop cat. I don't know if you know what I'm
Oh yeah,
talking
the
about, where it's
Popcat
like a
emotes, and then just
big old circle. Yeah,
yeah
yeah.
yeah
And
yeah.
so you have one picture of you normal, a second picture of you with the big old wide mouth, and that's it. You just set that every time you're talking. The pop cat mouth is up and down, up and down.
There was this one filter like with like the super big eyes, right? I forget what that. I think it was like a TikTok filter that people just started
Oh, yes.
using. Yeah, I
Yeah.
that it's ridiculous to see like some of that stuff, and like you do that and then you add the voice changer. It's like it's just funny things. It's like you can take that even like with your own BTube model and then just
add like a demon voice, for example.
and just like change things up so that like there's so many things and ideas with content that like you can just make it for yourself and kind of like be original. But honestly, like I think a VeggieTales YouTube revamp,
That'd be
it'd be
hilarious.
so good. It'd be so good. So we're gonna talk a little bit about real talk as a streamer here. So what is your biggest L as a streamer, and what did you learn from it?
Ooh.
Oh yeah, I
Um,
swapped gears kind of quickly.
I know. So we kind of talked last night about one that I felt like I was dumb, but I don't know if that was my biggest L. I'll share it and see if I can come up with the biggest. But in the
Sure.
beginning, I I met some people and I was in a group, mostly COD players, and so my content really didn't mash up with theirs. And it wasn't follow for follow, but it was like raid for raid, and we would all go, okay, we're going to stream on this one for an hour and everybody hang out. And then after that hour's up, we're raiding to this one. And raid trains themselves aren't bad. I'm not saying raid trains are bad, but it was literally constant for weeks on end, this rotation of hitting people to make sure they reached affiliate on Twitch and could start making money. And I regret that because in the beginning, a lot of the people who were following me and were in my chat were COD viewers and players, and they weren't interacting and they weren't enjoying the content. And so even though I made affiliate, I had like nothing to show for it. And I wasn't being pushed out to the people who might have liked my stuff because instead I was being pushed out to people who watched COD. And so, like, that was kind of a problem, and it took me a long time to, like, get out of the COD niche and be like, "No, no, no, I play cozy games." And so that was but I don't know if that was my biggest L. Because now I don't necessarily regret it, you know? Like, I learned from it, and I feel like I can talk about it. So I don't know if that's my biggest one or not. It's just something I wouldn't recommend anymore.
I can definitely agree. Like when you bring up the whole raid train thing, people think that it's gonna be some cycle of like, oh, it's like, oh, I get viewers. It's like, cool, I got the viewers now. But what people don't understand in regards to growth, especially when it comes to raids, is like, let's say, like for example, I get raided by Timmy Toucans, one of the best COD streamers out there right now. In all 1.6 thousand people in his chat come in here and hang out. Like, what am I gonna do? What are you gonna do to be able to retain those people? You gotta be able to give a product that's going to be inviting for people to retain them, to keep them into your little corner. And that's something that actually was taught to me from Shady. And shout out to the only Shady, who's an amazing YouTube creator and amazing content creator. He's a person who taught me that. It's like you have to, if you get those raids from Timmy Toucans or Dr. Chubbs or BB Jess or Iron Mouse or like those big name streamers, how are you gonna get people to stay? So
Right.
what do you do to get people to stay?
Okay, I have not had a raid in a very long time. I don't know, it's just isn't in my, like, wheelhouse very much anymore. Um, so I don't really prepare for it. Maybe that's something I need to work on. I did remember I decided on an L, a big L.
Mm-hmm.
I uh, 2 or 3 years ago, no, like 4 years ago, I took a break from YouTube and I
Okay.
said, "I'm gonna go all in on Twitch." And it was working really well. I was getting paid relatively well, but I let my YouTube just, like, go stagnant for 6 months to a year. And then after DreamHack in 2023, I'm like, "Why did I ever do that?" Because that's income that is passive income, right? I don't have to be live on YouTube to make the money on YouTube. Even on streaming content, there is a really good amount of ad revenue when people watch your VOD back. Like, I
Yes.
think Asmongold even just shared like how much more money he makes on the VOD content on his YouTube and how he doesn't make anything after going off live on Twitch. And I'm like, so man, that's probably my biggest regret is like I set myself back as a creator, as a full-time income creator when I took such a big break from YouTube. And I wish I had just kept going live in both places.
And that's such a huge thing, is like being able to understand that your income isn't necessarily from your live streams. It's such a small portion of content creation's income. Like majority of my views actually come from when I'm offline. I actually
Yeah.
like I wish I could show some of the podcast numbers and why like it does like ridiculously well on Spotify. It does ridiculously well on Snapchat Spotlight. It does ridiculous like my Snapchat. I don't understand it. Like my TikTok, okay, it'll push like to 1,000, 2,000 people, but my Snapchat, I'm getting 10 to 20,000 video, or like 10 to 1,000 views a video. And
That's
it
awesome.
continuously grows there. My YouTube, I posted a video last week. I have 1 view on it. Like, I don't understand why that's the case. Like, I try to pick people's brains because of it too, but like, it really just depends. Like, my advice to any aspiring content creator is to post everywhere and
Yeah.
let the content sit. And like, if I had to redo everything from scratch, I would live stream it. I would take 10-minute segments from it, and then I would make shorts to get people to push themselves into that 10-minute segment. And that's really what brings people in and retains people and retains the audience, because a lot of people don't want to just see all your shorts. They want to see your long form. They want to get to know you via your personality in your long-term videos.
Yeah, stop being platform specific and don't be platform. Oof, I don't even know how to call it. I see it a lot on Kick where it's like I'm Kick so and so. I'm so and so on Kick. And they use like the Kick icon and all of their branding and everything else. And I'm like, I love Kick. I do love Kick. I'm not hating on Kick. But what happens if something goes down like Mixer and your whole identity was wrapped up in Kick? You need to have a fallback. And it used to be like 10, 15 years ago when I first started content creation on Instagram, it was all about having an email list, right? You need to capture your email list because what if Instagram bans you? And we
Mm-hmm.
don't really do that anymore, but you still need to build spaces where your audience can come and hang out. And honestly, I don't think Discord is the way to do it either. I
I
think
agree
you
there.
need to have I think you need to have YouTube and Twitch and TikTok and Twitter and anything else. I don't know really if Facebook gaming is going to ever get you anywhere, but if you want to, go for it.
Honestly, like, I'm a huge advocate of posting everywhere. Post
Yeah.
everywhere, and you never know who's going to join your streams. I have more people that join my stream from Snapchat than I do than from on TikTok or YouTube. But like I said, everything is different. Like, everyone's journey is completely different. You gotta do your own journey, be your own person, and it'll go or it won't. And the biggest mistake, and this is also goes into my next question, the biggest mistake that I see aspiring creators do is look at their viewer count. Because if you can't stream to 0 people, you damn well can't stream to 1,000. So what do you
Yes.
think new creators need to pay attention to in a content space?
I agree. Don't pay attention like don't look at your numbers because I think when you see the 0, you're gonna well, nobody's here, so I don't need to be entertaining. But if you hide the number, you don't know, and so you're always on. So I think there's that. Um, you gotta stop just posting go live.
Yes.
You gotta stop self-promoting in the promo channel of a Discord.
Hot
Nope,
take, no
nope.
one looks at the promo channels.
I mute every single one.
Yes, same.
As
So
soon as I hit that Discord.
same. It's like not even that.
Yeah.
It's like my Discord is different. I see people that post content and I'll give them a content creator role. So my go
Yeah.
live channel notifications are going to highlight whenever those creators that I see being creators go live. My Discord is
Mine's
just,
different too.
yeah, it's like, but you're right. I mute the promo channel everywhere. Stop
So
posting in there. It doesn't help.
I have an assigned content creator tag too, and what happens if they go live, they get moved up in the user list and it says now live. So you
Same.
don't get to post your link, you don't get to like spam us every time, but we will know if you are live.
Yeah, same. In my Discord, I do exactly the same thing. It's like, well, I don't even separate myself from my own Discord because I call it the band fam because we're a family. I'm not better than anyone else. No one's better than I am, in my opinion. Like the mentality of being better, the mentality of like trying to compare yourself to others. Stop it, please. It doesn't help your
Yeah.
case.
No,
Like,
and in most cases, the people who are coming to watch you are other content creators, and the people who are driving you an audience are other content creators. I haven't gotten a raid in a while, and I'm not like complaining, that's okay, but like that's where a lot of your new people are going to come from. And especially on Kick and Twitch because of the lack of algorithm, right?
Hmm.
I get someone who's like, "Hey, I saw you on TikTok, but I wanted to see the long form one." But
Right.
realistically, the raids and people just saying, "Hey, go visit my friend, they're going to be live later," is what's going to help you. So if you're constantly spamming, nobody's going to help you.
So another thing that I see, a mistake that I see a lot of creators do, and this is a hot take, and some people may disagree with this, and you're allowed to disagree with this. Stop using those promote features. It doesn't actually help you. The moment you give money to a platform for their boost, for their promote features, they're going to immediately suppress all of your other content.
Yes, I agree. It's like you stamped sucker on your forehead and they're like, "Well, you
Yep.
paid once, you're gonna pay again."
And now you have to pay every single time you post, or else we're not going to push your content because, we can
Yep.
get money off of you. And it's a sad, vicious cycle inside of the streaming world now where you have to buy that check mark on Twitter, unfortunately, to even just get barely noticed. You
Oh,
have to,
even on Instagram to get verified, you
yeah,
have to pay for it.
you have to pay for verification on Instagram. You have to pay to get out of the 200 view jail on TikTok. And a lot of people
Yep.
are like, oh, the 200 view jail doesn't exist. But it's like, I literally see advertisement from TikTok self promote about their 200 view jail. I
Oh, I
literally
mean,
see that.
I used to go live on TikTok. Like when it first pushed out, I was able to get in with an agency and go live on TikTok, and I was getting thousands of views all the time. And then I can tell you, there was a month where all of a sudden it tanked to like 100.
Yeah.
And since then, it has never gone over the 200 because I'm not paying.
And they want all creators to pay, unfortunately. And it's like, that's why I like YouTube as much as I do, because YouTube is organic and they still go with an algorithm and they'll still push your content if it actually meets the right criteria. But like a lot of these other platforms now, it's pay to win. And it's a lot of people don't have that money to pay, which is why we're actually going into the field of content creation to begin with. And like I could talk about this stuff for hours because it's a whole psychology thing, it's a whole business thing, it's a whole business avenue, and there are a lot of people that will fall into that. I don't want to call it a trap, but they'll fall into that situation. So, um, that being said, going full circle back to the whole how do you keep people around? I'm going to be talking. We're yappers as streamers. It's just what we do. I keep people around by talking a bit about myself and asking chat to be engaged. So, what is something that you do to engage with either your viewer audience from a content perspective or from a streaming perspective?
I do too. I feel like I try to keep in touch with the people, even if they're not in my Discord, right? Oh,
Hmm.
YouTube just screwed me over for this, but I
Hmm.
try to say like, "Hey, how was graduation?" Like I try to make sure I know and I what they're going through right now. Like, "Hey, you live on the other side of the world. Aren't you supposed to be sleeping right now? Like I appreciate you, but take care of yourself, right?" And so I try to do that kind of stuff where I want them to feel human, right? Because I feel like so many of us came into content creation out of some amount of loneliness or some amount of needing connection. And I feel like a lot of our viewers are the same way. And that's probably why we end up with a lot of parasocial relationship issues. But if you just treat people like they're human, and maybe you're the one person who was kind to them that day. So I do try to like pay attention to them, right?
Right.
And give them a moment of my time. I'm not just like, "Oh, hey, thanks for the follow." I'm like, "Hey, how's you going?" And I want to talk to you about it. And when somebody else comes in, "Hey, how did that thing go? How was that job interview?" Like try to make sure you remember the things that people are doing around you. YouTube screwed me though because they're rolling out a new system and not everybody has it yet, where instead of you having the assigned name, you're gonna start seeing everybody's at handles instead, and they don't
Mm.
always match. And so I'm in a content creator community like with YouTube, and some of those have started saying, "Hey, this is rolling out," and it's a disaster because they're like, "This long-term viewer, I don't know what their handle is because they've always been known as Joe."
Yeah,
And
and I see
so
that happen a lot. especially like
Yeah.
with TikTok.
Oh, really? See, yeah, I
So
haven't noticed it as much on TikTok.
so TikTok has their like actual name, and then they've changed it from their name to like their at. But like TikTok is weird because I'm on TikTok. I'm perk streams on Twitch, which
Okay.
don't ask me why I do that. It's literally because the the reason why I do that is because the content field of Call of Duty is so oversaturated that no one's gonna know I stream. No one's gonna make that step from TikTok after seeing my content to go
Right.
to that platform. And that actually is the reason why my views are suppressed now that they
Yeah.
changed their algorithm. So I
Yeah.
actually have to change that within my name and go back to just percussive173 or perk
Like
daddy.
they don't want a Twitch link in your bio,
No,
nothing.
they want nothing. If you have Twitch or Kick, they're going to suppress your content and suppress your views on TikTok. So just take note. Don't do what I
You
did.
know,
I'm a
you
naughty
might
bean.
just need a sign. You might just need like a Twitch, a Kick, and a YouTube little symbol back behind you. So it's like a little subtle thing, like, hey, you can also find me here.
I've actually considered buying a Twitch LED with my name underneath it,
Yeah.
or like a Kick
Yeah.
LED with like my name underneath it, and like stuff like that. I think it's just like a really cool idea. Like, look, my wall's barren. The only thing I have is a Pikachu, and you're not
No,
gonna find
you
me
need
as
a YouTube
Pikachu.
button.
I hey, I mean that's gonna
A
take
nice
some
little
time,
silver play button. That would look good back there.
dude. That would look real nice. But I mean, like, it's gonna take me a while. It's like, but being realistic with yourself based on your goals and based off your aspirations too. Like for me, like I'm at 670 viewer or subscribers on YouTube. I have a long way to go before I get to that play button, which means I need to make way better content. Means I need to refocus my energy if I'm going to try to do the whole YouTube route and really focus on the best thing that we can do for that. But like that's on my goals. It's in my goals and aspirations. So what are some of the goals that you have moving forward,
Ooh,
as I know you're so focused on YouTube?
I love this. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little delulu. I love manifestation and affirmations, and I think I like to reach for goals that are out of reach because I sometimes we limit ourselves in saying, "Oh, I'm gonna reach 10,000 subscribers, in 2 years." Instead, I'm like, "No, I'm getting to 100,000 in a year because by then, maybe I've overshot the 10,000. Maybe I don't make it to 100, but I didn't limit myself to the 10,000, right? So I actually have a vision board and I redo it every year and I print it off at Staples and it hangs right above my desk so I can look at it and like these things I'm getting done this year. And so on my thing this year is like I'm gonna get a creator badge at DreamHack. I actually put that I was going to win some awards this year, and guess what? I did. I won some awards this year. And
W.
then, right? And I put on a podcasting and I put on interviews. So, like, these are things that I have wanted to do since the beginning of the year. And here I am. I'm doing some of those.
And my goals are the exact opposite. So
Okay.
if I make one person smile a day during one stream, then I view it as successful. That is my goal. That is my
Yeah.
ultimate goal. It's why I started streaming. And like I don't give a shit if I hit 10,000 followers. I don't give a shit if I hit 100 followers. I could drop to 5 followers for all I care. But as long as I make somebody's day and make a positive impact on someone, that's my goal. Those are my aspirations. And like that's what I strive to do. So I set my goals low, but I'm extremely happy when I meet goals that are way above that.
Ooh, I'm
And
gonna push you.
yeah,
But
go for
so
it.
if your goal is to make one person smile, what if you reach 10,000 people? Like even just 400. Seeing 400 people in a room, holy shit, it's scary as hell. But if you can make 400 people laugh, like we actually added a drop of difference in the world today. Like,
Yeah.
so maybe you need to make more than one person smile a day.
Well, okay, fine. And tomorrow I'll make 2 people smile.
I like
But yeah,
it.
so my goals are set low for a reason. It's because my mentality is completely changed. Like I don't want to be Mr. Beast. I don't want to be Kaisenet. I don't
Right.
want to be that big of a
No
streamer.
thanks.
That's not who I am. That's not where I want to be. Like my whole mindset is in a completely different avenue when it comes to that. if I can put on a podcast, right, like this, and make someone say, you know what, I love what Amethyst is doing, I love what Perk is doing. Maybe I can do podcasting, or maybe I can be a VTuber. And
Right.
just that inspiration alone means more to me than any type of monetization or viewer count. When I talked with you about my earnings, you'd be surprised. A lot of people think that I make like over $1,000 a month. No, I make $5. And the
Yeah.
reason, and it's never been about money to me. It's about making an impact in the content creation space. But my goals are so in a different avenue, in a different mindset, and with a different philosophy. And it's not a bad thing. But I agree with you though. Having that mindset of wanting to grow is so huge. And having that mindset, like to put yourself in a position to like get that 10,000 followers is so massive. But
Well, and
I
I
also,
don't necessarily think it's a bad thing to want to help people either. I feel like
right,
if you do it all by yourself all the way to the top and you don't share anything, you're gonna get up there and you're gonna be just as lonely as you were when you were making nothing.
exactly. I couldn't agree more. And I actually lied. I have one more goal as
Okay.
a creator. My other goal is to become a content creator, or recognized as a content creator at a convention at some point. It doesn't have to be Atlanta. It doesn't have to be Dallas. It doesn't have to be TwitchCon. But for someone to even come up to me and say, dude, I love your content. Your video made me smile. That's literally all I want. And like,
Yeah.
but if I eventually get recognized as a creator, as a podcaster, as an educator, that's incredible. That's what I look for. So, what questions do you have for me?
Oh, I didn't prepare questions.
I know, and that's
Uh,
I don't tell people that they even should come up with questions, but and that's
I don't
totally okay
know.
if you don't have any.
I do think you mentioned possibly putting together a VTuber for yourself, like on stream,
Okay,
and I like that idea. I don't. I mean, obviously we can't do that today, but
right?
I'd like to like help you get that going.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I,
I,
I I like that. I think and to stream it is helpful too, right? Because then all the mistakes that happen, somebody else can see it and be like, "Oh, this is how I fix that," you know?
well, I mean, the first step for me would be to actually get the artwork done in a manner of which I
Right.
wanted. It would probably just be some dude with like a hat. Doesn't have to be a Cavs hat, but just like some dude with a hat and a beard. That's like a larger set dude, and then maybe like we'll go through the process of like rigging that, um, and like setting that up while live on stream and seeing if my computer can even handle that. I feel like that would be cool. That would be fun.
It would. Okay, I have a question though.
Yeah, go for it.
I thought of one.
All right.
So if you were to make it to like DreamHack as a content creator, who would you want to interview live there?
I wouldn't know. And to be honest, because now I could interview so many different people. My goal has already been surpassed of the people that I would want to interview. The fact that people even want to take time out of their busy schedules to talk with me about content creation and inspire people would be amazing. Like I've already spoken with Shorty Pie, I've already spoken with Erect Dictator, I've spoken with The Only Shady, I've spoken with Bad Bear Gamer. Like I've spoken with Cpreds of all people. Like I've spoken with people who are amazing in the content field. I've spoken with people who are amazing within their respective fields. I would honestly, if I had a choice, I would love to interview either Sasuke or um Artemis Frost. Artemis because I respect her mind. And I feel like um it would be a really educational process to be able to do something like that. In Sasuke because I really respect what she does as a content creator for the entire Call of Duty space or streaming space, and I think that she does a wonderful, phenomenal job. Um, Also, there would be Dr. Chubbs, and it's because I am aspiring Call of Duty creator as well. And Dr. Chubbs has absolutely been killing it on multiple avenues, both on Kick or Twitch. And then lastly, as a fourth, would be Timmy Two Cans. Because when I was going through like learning what streamers are, when I was going through like just trying to figure out what it would take for me to be a content creator, I watched Timmy. And I would troll Timmy because Timmy is a troll. And I would go into Timmy's chat, I would spend give him 200 bits, and I would say, "Happy birthday, Timmy," every single day. Just because I want to see how he reacted to that. And eventually he was like, "Oh no, thank you so much for my birthday," because like it started a whole thing where everyone started gifting him subs because they didn't know it was his birthday. But then we did it every day, and it wasn't meant to gift him subs, but I just thought it was just funny to troll him.
That's
But
great.
it's and Timmy's just such a good all around dude. So is Dr. Chubbs, and so is Saskia, and so is Artemis. Like, it's the people that have the mentality of being a content creator and a desire to showcase something that they're passionate about is such a beautiful thing to see. So I hope that answers that question.
Yeah. Can I
Mhm.
add somebody to your list?
Yeah, go for it.
I think since in the idea of like helping other streamers and helping other streamers grow, it might be good to have somebody from DreamHack, like Bear of Twitch,
I'd
or
love to
even
interview Bear.
yeah, or somebody from the Kick booth. Like, how does a creator get in to this kind of an event and have
Sure.
pick their mind?
Yeah, I would absolutely love to have a conversation with convention leads. And honestly, like, being part of the esports world, I would love to one of my future podcasts would be to get esports organizations together to talk about what it would be like in an esports facet.
Ooh,
Or
that's a good
what
idea.
Yeah, it's like, how does somebody get into esports? How does somebody get into convention life? And like, honestly, like, even start like super basic stuff like, what's convention etiquette 101?
Oh, deodorant, please.
Deodorant, yes. But
I saw a convention add to their rule list that
mhm,
if you are found to have an offensive odor, you will be asked to leave.
thank you to everybody involved. We appreciate whatever that convention is.
It was off
Was
Kai.
off Kai. I
Yeah.
honestly, like, I do think that if we talk about convention etiquette, deodorant has to be on the top of that list. Like,
Yeah.
being caring about yourself from a personal perspective does start from a mentality perspective, but also um additionally adds on to how you hold yourself um like in those avenues of life. You got to be able to be conscientious for yourself and other
Well,
people around you.
and in some cases, like I noticed at the last convention I was at, it was first thing in the morning. There's no way this person stinks already. You have to wash your cosplay. You have to wash your cosplay. And if your friend is showing up in that, maybe you should say something. And you don't have to be like, dude, you're rank, right? Like there are nice ways to say it, but maybe they don't know their cosplay. It stinks a little bit and it's time to wash it.
I'm actually very blunt. If somebody comes up to me and they smell, I'm like, dude, you really smell. Do you have deodorant? I'll be straight up. I will be blunt. I will be abrasive. I'll be in your face. I will let you know. But
Oh,
like,
I'm a little gentler. I'm like, "Ooh, I'm gonna get some deodorant. Do you want some too?"
yeah, I don't even do that. I'm just like, hey, you smell. Do you have deodorant? If not, go walk across the street to the CVS and get you some.
Man, can I hang out with you at DreamHack?
Sure,
Because
by
I
all
don't
means.
need
Like,
those
I love
people
it.
around me.
I mean, like, people already give me like, if somebody smells like I'm a larger set dude, right? I already get the negative mantra of like people thinking that I smell, and if somebody smells, they immediately turn to me, and it's like, oh man, that
Mhm.
that guy smells. Like, it's just like way people are. So like, I mean, I have to like pretty much show people. It's like, I'll go out, I'll spray myself with cologne, I'll actually wear deodorant, and like I. But I mean, like, we're talking about smelling now. I mean, like, I don't know, but so my last question for you is, if you had an advice for somebody aspiring to be a content creator that you wish you knew when you first started making content, what would that be?
Don't get into the drama. As much as like I feel like maybe it's more my generation. We grew up with MySpace and Facebook, and your gut reaction is to post every single thing that you feel onto the timeline. it's really not going to help you in the long run. And if you can avoid the drama, avoid it. And honestly, you start to see the people who are in the drama all the time are causing drama all the time. So, like, just do yourself a favor, mute and block them. Don't let that energy in, because when you respond, it's going to be used against you. A brand might see it. People are going to talk shit about you behind your back, and they're going to ruin your opportunities with other people. So if you can keep yourself away, you're going to be better off for it. And like, preserve a part of yourself that isn't for online, like, I, I know sometimes you process like grieving and stuff by saying like, oh, my dog died on your timeline, but maybe that's something that you should keep for yourself so that you can process it and you can deal with those and talk to the people who are closest to you and not to the people on the internet who might trash you for posting it.
Yeah, that's very true. I agree with both of your points. One of the things that I will say on that is people talk about me constantly.
Oh man, all the time.
All the time. It is what it is.
Deal with him.
Well, I mean, people talk about me behind my back to the point where like people have said, oh, the sole reason why Perk does this podcast is because he's a failed content creator. Okay, I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care if I'm a failed content creator. I don't view myself that way, but you're entitled to your opinion on that. They say that I can't make my own content. Oh, well, wait for a couple months. I can't make my own content. That's my mentality to you. It's just wait a couple months. Wait till you see the content flowing in every single day. The reason why I'm not posting right now, and I'm not trying to call out any type of drama, any type of way, but the reason why I'm not posting right now is because I have over 176 videos in the pipeline. And the reason why I do that is I want to get a year's worth of content in front of me on different aspects I can focus on long form. So that's why I'm not posting as much right now. I'm posting things that I find funny initially. So, but that's okay. You can have that mentality.
And like, Whittle Bears and Big E have both said it, like sometimes you just have to take a step back.
Yes.
I'm taking a step back from Twitter, because when you step back and you focus on just you and you don't talk about it, like I'm just doing me, and I watch me explode in 3 months when all of the content starts rolling in.
Exactly. And the mindset is to just let the content flow, keep your head down and focus on you. And that's my advice to someone who's just starting, is like, don't fall into the trap. Rise above the trap. Make people want to be you instead of wanting to be somebody else. So, but Amethyst, I appreciate you so much for coming onto the PSP podcast today.